If you've ever had
to today's show, I'm here to do this video on Miley the Virus Cyrus, something that everybody needs to see, because if you don't see that there's an agenda behind these music videos, that there's a pattern, that feminism and all this stuff is part of an agenda of mind control, that these people, these celebrities, are the influencers on society. They are the ones who are responsible for the social engineering, the behavior of others, and how they're getting everybody lined up and ready and prepared for the Antichrist. Miley Cyrus's new song, Mother's Daughter, is potentially one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen. And I'm not saying that lightly, because I've covered, Cardi B's gross videos, Nicki Minaj's disgusting videos. This is repulsive, to say the least. And I'm going to show you the lyrics of this song, and you're going to go, you got to be kidding me, how people don't see how they're constantly talking about God and the devil, how this is actually talking about the arrival of the Antichrist. The title of the album is She's Coming. Now, many people believe that the Antichrist is indeed going to be a female, but I'm not going to go into a rant on that, because I want to show you the ridiculous lyrics and how they're using these celebrities, again, to influence the masses. Here's a verse. She goes, hallelujah, I'm a witch, hallelujah. So she's openly talking about how she's a witch, right? Such a surprise. All of these women are witches. They always are telling us they are in the lyrics. And people, again, they're like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're just saying it like, she says, I'm nasty. I'm evil. Don't F with my freedom. I'm a witch. I'm a witch. And then she goes on over and over to take the Lord's name in vain, which I'm not going to say. And she goes on again to say, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Now, in this video, not only is it pushing feminism, the whole gimmick, right, which I talked about being probably one of the most ironic things and ridiculous hypocrisies in the world, how we're constantly seeing when they talk about my body, my choice, right? We're seeing it over and over and over, and that's the argument that they're using to convince women about, what they do with their bodies as far as when they're pregnant. But on the other hand, when it comes to vaccinations, it's not apparently our body or our choice. Even though if somebody else is vaccinated, then they shouldn't have to worry about whether I am or not, because they should be protected. So we see all of that stuff. But I've talked about subliminal messaging and how they flicker words across the screen in like milliseconds. Right? Like quickly just flash a word. It will barely be up there for a second. And your brain processes it, whether you're processing it in real time or not. Your subconscious mind is processing it. And I'm going to show you some of the ridiculous things that were flashing across the screen. Let's start with just the fact that look at her, right? I mean, this is just repulsive. Half of this video, of course, just like all these videos, right? Just like what we just saw with Taylor Swift, is pushing the LGBT agenda. She's grinding up on women. She's licking them. They're showing nipples, fake nipples, touching one another. I mean, just sick stuff you would think that YouTube would go, oh, we can't have that on our platform because it's really repulsive. But then, people that could call for an uprising can't disagree with anybody's opinion because that's hate speech, and that's going to hurt someone's feelings because we live in a cookie-cutter society where nobody's allowed to have a pair of balls anymore, and nobody's allowed to stick up for what they believe in. So Miley Cyrus is doing, Lord knows what, while she's grinding up on all these people. This is what starts flashing across the screen. Every woman is a riot is the first thing that pops up. Then it says, virginity. Virginity is a social construct, right? So virginity, so pretty much telling you that being a virgin, it's something that, it's a social construct because of Christianity. Of course, that's what they're talking about, because then they go right in to say, which I can't even believe that people don't see this stuff. I really don't. But then she goes in to talk about sin, saying sin is in your eyes, so promoting lust. I mean, how do people not realize that this is spiritual warfare, right? All these celebrities, they come out and they just, they flat out deny Christianity. They also pretend that they're not Satanists, but a lot of these females will tell you they're witches. And everything they're talking about is the opposite of what the Bible teaches. This is promoting saying sin is in your eyes, virginity is a construct, promoting abortion with the whole, my body, my choice agenda, They flash across the screen as if it's not obvious enough. Feminist AF. Feminist AF, right? And then we get the same other kind of crap we always see. We get women, which apparently, I think that's one of these women, or it's her mother, according to what I read. I could be wrong. I don't know which one or who. But of course, they're wearing the leopard print clothing, which all these celebrities just constantly like to wear in their videos, right? They all love eyeballs, they all have lightning, and they all love this ridiculous leopard print outfit. This represents MK Ultra mind control programming. Miley Cyrus is nothing more than a subservient servant to the elites, or as I like to just call them flat out now, influencers. Okay, she's a sex kitten for them. They're showing you this stuff through symbols, through color coding, all this stuff that's talked about, numerology. Then you get, which has to be, listen, I've told you this a million times. The characters are strategically put in all these TV shows and music videos. Whether it's an LGBT person or a trans person, just randomly in the video. So we get a trans person in the video, as then we see a woman, and of course, across her body, it says, I am free, my body, my rules. This is all just the same consistent message that we see. We see a bunch of trans people, then we see somebody with they on their shirt / them, right? Which is almost alluding to like us, as you know, I call them they. People are like, who is they? Talking about, the synagogue of Satan. Well, they're mocking right back, calling us, because we're the ones who are opposing this entire agenda. We're not opposing women. We're not opposing women's rights. They take this stuff and they construed it because we disagree with abortion. They take this stuff when it comes to the LGBT agenda and movement because it's in our faces. It's being force-fed. These parades, not necessary. These YouTube trending, #1, every day, a video about it, whether it's somebody coming out or a music video about it. And then you tell people, you go, listen, nobody here is wishing death or harm on anyone. We're telling you that this is part of what they're doing and they're pushing. And they go, oh, that's hateful. It's not hateful. It's obvious. If you can't see it, then you're either blind, you're naive, or you're just a zombie like everybody else. Always the same stuff. All of these female celebrities, from Katy Perry to Taylor Swift to Miley Cyrus, we're all doing what? They're all coming out, they're all supporting LGBT, they're all coming out and they're telling Christians to calm down like Taylor Swift just did. They're all coming out attacking Christianity. They're all coming out promoting abortion. These are the things that they're doing. This is how they're molding and sculpting society. The youth out there are being socially engineered by these celebrities. And again, for the millionth time, it drives me absolutely nuts because there's people who, are awake and into a lot of the stuff going on. And then they're completely asleep because they just sit there and they're like, QAnon and Donald Trump and, and they talk about like politics like they're, detectives. They're like, oh, in my research and seeing this stuff and the Mueller case and all this stuff that's the real fake news because that's the whole circus and show. These are the people who are influencing the behavior of society. These people. They're the ones who are pushing sin across as moral. They're the ones who are influencing the children and the youth. That's why when you see these kids out there and you shake your head and you go, good grief, these kids are dumb. Good grief. This is the future. Do I want to bring kids into this world? It's not the kids' fault. The kids are being engineered. This is what they're doing. This is what the elites have done. They've created a system. These are the false idols the Bible speaks of. This is ancient Egypt today. These are the false gods and false idols, and they believe that in their mind. Why do you always think you see so much Egyptian, nonsense in all these videos? Because that's just what it is, nonsense. Right? What do you think Whitney Houston's getting buried in a tomb like she's an Egyptian god? That's what they believe. And now they're here influencing and socially engineering. So this is Miley Cyrus, one of the most disturbing videos I've seen in a long time. And I mean, it's hard to say because there's so many. But when, YouTube won't allow you to have an opposite opinion on abortion, on vaccinations, on any of this stuff, they'll not only will they let them monetize, which they could care less about, but they'll put them #1 in trending, right? So that everybody sees it. And they'll say, oh, this is such a strong video and so empowering for women that Miley Cyrus came out and did this. What a hero she is. That's the way that they twist it. And then people go look and they're like, yeah. Meanwhile, it's disturbing. You know, she's grinding up on women. They have the trans characters in there. They have, you know, all these subliminal messages popping up on the screen where if you were sitting there watching it and the message was sitting there for 10 seconds, you actually might question and go, why are they telling me, you know, feminist AF? Why are they? No, they're flashing it because your subliminal mind is what's picking it up and processing it and being programmed on us, you know, on the surface level beneath. These people are the influencers. They're the ones who are molding and sculpting and destroying our world. And this is a godless world that they've created. Satan, the god of this world. They are taking everything that God has commanded us not to do, and they're making it normal, and they're making it regular, and they're telling people, well, this is, you know, the Christians are the hateful ones. The God of the Bible is the horrible one. And you should be able to do without will, just like Aleister Crowley said. And remember, the do without will mindset is under the law of love. And the Antichrist is coming in the name of love. So Miley Cyrus telling you again she's a witch. I'm a witch, she says. I'm nasty and I'm evil. Hallelujah, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Hallelujah. So you even get your front and then you get it in reverse. That's a little homage to Aleister Crowley and the law of reversals. How she's saying it frontwards and she's saying it backwards. Can't make it up. Every day, there's something, you know, every day. That's why people are like, man, you know, you make a lot of videos. And there's always content out there because this is everywhere. All you have to do is be thinking and consciously thinking. It's frustrating because I worry about the youth out there, but I mean, I know there's only so much that I can do and that this is prophecy being fulfilled. The falling away is already in place. And, you know, it's just scary out there because parents are allowing their kids to be influenced by this stuff. They've all fallen for the love movement. The New Age God movement where everything is to be tolerated, and Christians like me are Christians from time capsules. And it's like no one is, for the millionth time, nobody's wishing harm or death on anyone. I'm not wishing anyone to be stoned. I'm not anti-females. I love women. It's the agendas. It's what's behind it because they're using this feminist thing and saying women are oppressed, and then they're twisting it into telling them that abortion isn't murder. Meanwhile, you go cut a tree down. They're like, it's murder. I'm an environmentalist. You killed a tree. I'm a pagan witch. Really sad stuff. Pray for the children out there that they're not influenced by this. You know, I don't know much more that I can do because my channel is growing at an unbelievable pace. I mean, unbelievable pace. You know, and people were like, look, this guy can't be legit. They wouldn't let it grow. And then once they got their eyeballs on it, now since they've done the next round of purging, I can't even get like 50 subs a day. I was getting 500 a day because I was making a lot of content and on a lot of relevant things and a lot of things that, oh, okay, you know, when you talk about Miley Cyrus and then somebody's actually watching the video, my video will show up or somebody might say, this is weird. Let me type in Miley Cyrus Illuminati. And then they're suddenly going, oh my gosh, I see what this guy's talking about. They watch a couple of my videos, they see the repetition, and I help wake them up. Now they've completely suppressed it. They won't share these videos, and not just me, all of the channels that talk about similar content. And that's what's disappointing about this whole thing. It's not so much the adpocalypse, which hurts, obviously, but thankfully I have wonderful patrons out there who help keep this content relevant. I mean, help keep me going to continue to make as much content as I can. So I thank all you from the bottom of my heart, people who support on Teespring, as well as watch the ads and the videos. My website is almost finished. I'll do a tutorial on it when I'm ready to go and ready to put content up there. But again, you know, if you feel free to support the channel any way you can, at least get the word out. And prayers are always appreciated. Again, I haven't been feeling too great, but listen, we got to do whatever we can to try to help. You know, one soul out there is one soul. It matters just as much. That's how they look at it. If they can lead one soul to hell, we got to get that soul back and lead it towards Christ, lead it towards picking up a Bible, lead it towards just seeing this stuff going on. And if you're atheist or someone out there, you can't sit here and tell me that you don't see this stuff going on. Obviously, these people worship Lucifer, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason that everything they do is to defy and go against the Bible, that book, and Jesus Christ. And that's the kind of content that's going to be up on my website, talking about the teachings in these other certain books that are completely protected, that if people knew what they were teaching, they would be thrown out of this country. They've already been thrown out of every other country. But then they use anti-words to get them to stay and stuff like that. So we'll go into all that stuff in detail. I'm going to get my energy levels back up and keep moving forward. Just disgusting. Another witch openly admitting it. Rough.